If you're feeling like a lump on a log, or meaner than a junkyard dog, you've got questions, well I do too. Come on and join the solution revolution. There's answers for me and you. Yeah, there's answers that we can use. Come on and join the solution revolution.
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Leo Battenhausen for Mender Online, the Solution Revolution, and I want to wish you all a happy 4th of July, and to please remember our veterans and all who have sacrificed and even lost their lives for this country and for our freedom that we have today. So God bless America. And happy 4th of July. I'm here today. I want to talk about something that comes up very frequently, in my microcosm of a world, my therapy practice. And, although there's no real statistics on this, I can see that it's happening very frequently on a pretty large range scale. And I'm talking about infidelity. Either within a relationship or in a marriage. Today we're so easily able to cheat that this epidemic is just going up and up and up. We have websites for married people to cheat with each other and stay married, of course. Wink, wink. Their slogan is "Life is short, have an affair." Okay, why not? Social media has been another nail in the coffin of marriage and relationships and trust, because did you know that Facebook is responsible for 1 in 3 divorces in this country today? Well, actually, those are old statistics. It might be more now, but 1 in 3 divorces, or about 30% of divorces in America, and divorces are skyrocketing, are the result of Facebook. And people linking up with past loves or friends that they just seem to never get off their mind. And here we go. We have this methodology, this technological dependence, and this gadget that helps us do this. And families are being destroyed and marriages are being lost by the tons because of this social networking. Let's call it. So that's going on, and it's going on in large scale families and with people that I'm seeing. So I just kind of base the world around me on, some research I've done and what is going on in the world technologically and socially and within my practice. So I kind of get a good feel for what's going on. When I wrote Defeating Depression, the common sense way to find happiness and satisfaction, there was a big onslaught of depression I noticed in my practice, and that still is going on. It hasn't changed. But right about that time is when I hit that nail and wrote that book. And that's when the World Health Organization had first come out with the statistic that by 2020, depression would be the second leading diagnosed medical problem in the world, next to heart disease. So I get a pretty good feel for what's going on in the world from the people I see every day, and I do see quite a few people every week. So, but this infidelity I don't think there's anything more hurtful, trust-destroying, selfish, avoidable, dishonest, and just mean than the betrayal of infidelity in a marriage or cheating. We give our hearts and souls to someone, and that feeling of being betrayed by that person is all encompassing, and we don't know whether to scream or cry. Our lives feel like they're crumbling in front of us. If we didn't see it coming, and usually we don't. And a variety of emotions are the results of this. And I first want to talk about some of the reasons. We hear people cheat, and personally, I'll get to that in a few. But here's some of the main reasons. People want a desire for an additional sexual encounter. because being with one person is not enough anymore. And this, of course, is socially encouraged as well. Look at the television shows. Look at the movies we have out. Look at the music. They're all sexual in nature, and they all don't condemn cheating. We see a lot of that going on in these things. So we start to believe, hey, what am I missing? So we get married, or we make a committed relationship, and then we go out and cheat because we want more sexual encounters. And, the sexual desires are constantly being force-fed down our throats every day by the media. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're seeing this stuff. It does get absorbed into but is that an excuse? Okay, I want more than one partner. That's one excuse that's given. Another one is lack of emotional satisfaction in your primary relationship. Okay, I'll buy that. There's not enough emotional satisfaction. So what do you do with your spouse? And, if that fails, get out of the relationship. That's what I was getting at before. All of these excuses always lead me to believe just get out of the relationship. But let me continue with the excuses, and that's what they are, excuses, because I do believe this cheating thing is completely avoidable, okay? Another one is wanting emotional validation from someone else. Well, isn't that nice? Don't we all want that? I want emotional validation all the time. Very narcissistic. And I certainly believe narcissists are probably at the top of the food chain when it comes to cheating spouses, because they are just all about themselves, and they're going to get what they want, when they want, with whom they want, and they don't care who they bowl or plow over to get it. So wanting emotional validation from someone else. How about talking about that with your spouse? At least try to work it out. And if it doesn't work out, end the relationship. Okay? There's another one. Here's another one. Falling out of love with your partner. Yes, this does happen, but that's, again, not a reason to go out and cheat. If you fell out of love and there's no hope, and you're sure that you don't want to go to counseling, or you do go to counseling and it doesn't work out, end the relationship, and then go find someone else to love. But don't do it to somebody else and victimize them. It's wrong, and it's avoidable. Another reason, falling in love with someone new. How does that happen? Oh, we just fell in love at the water cooler. I don't know how it happened. No, you know how it happened. And it's not about the love thing. Those first preliminary attractions are usually sexual in nature. So you fall in love with someone else when you got someone sitting home thinking you love them. Avoidable. Okay, if that's happening, there's something wrong in the relationship. Yes, fix it. Fix it or get out of it. Don't hurt somebody. This is what people, the pain they go through, and what I see from clients that are victims of cheating spouses is just sometimes irreparable, and how long they hold on to that hurt. It's horrible to do. So that's another one. I fell in love with someone new. Okay, control yourself. All right, another one is you're wanting to seek revenge. This is definitely avoidable, don't you think? I'm going to get revenge on you. I'm going to go cheat. And then conversely, sometimes the cheated on says, well, I'm going to go out and cheat now. Okay, are we adults? I would think we're adults here in a marriage, or, we're adults here talking. This is how we function? We get revenge on our loved ones or supposed loved ones by having sex and an affair with someone else. You know what? That's a rotten way to get revenge. How about talking about your anger? How about growing up and trying to decide what you need to do before you ruin somebody's life? Okay? So I don't buy that one either. Seeking revenge, it's high school to me. Oh, here's a good one. You're curious and you want new experiences. Why don't you go get a bicycle or, learn how to play guitar? You're what? You're curious and you want new experiences? Then what the hell did you get married for? You want new experiences? Do them together. Do them with your spouse. Do them with your boyfriend, your girlfriend. This is not an excuse to go out experience hunting. You don't have that right. When you're committed, you don't have a right to experience new things with new people when it's in the bedroom. It's disgusting, and it's sickening, and it's avoidable. So those are some of the excuses. Another one says, well, we don't have a sex life anymore. Yep, I know. He doesn't give me sex anymore. She doesn't give me sex anymore. Fine. All right, talk about it. Try to get some help. What's going on in that house? Men, are you trying to men your wives like you want them to be porn stars? Are you being kind and acknowledging them throughout the week? Women are very different than men. I've always said men can have sex with a magazine. Excuse me for being blunt. And women, they need a lot more to have that experience. And it involves, acknowledging them and telling them how they look, if they made a good meal, helping them around the house. They're very, very different. There's an old saying, if you want to have sex with your wife on Sunday, you better start being nice to her on Monday. And that applies here. So you don't have a right to just go and cheat if you're not getting sex at home. Again, very juvenile. If you're not going to get, if sex is that important to you, apparently, we're being filled with this stuff. We have to have this sex thing, sex. Believe me, it's everywhere. And I just discussed that. The media will not let us forget a moment of our having to have sex. And if you really have to have it and it's a problem in your house and you can't work out the problem, then it's time to move on. Before you go have sex with somebody else, end it. End it and talk about it. Okay? What is that? Some people get very hooked on the excitement of cheating. The hiding, the secrets, the texting. And cell phones will give you away every time, folks. So there's a victory for technology. Anybody who knows me knows I am not a fan of technology. As a matter of fact, I'm probably the technology's biggest adversary. But those cell phones will give you away every time, and the computers will give you away every time. I see this constantly. It just baffles my mind the way these cell phones are scrutinized and people hold on to them for dear life. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to hide. In our house, our phones are left. Here you go. We know each other's passwords, and I would strongly recommend, if you want your marriage to be healthy, there are no secrets. Another right you have given up when you get married. Okay? There's no more secrets. Your wife or your husband has access to everything you do, and vice versa. So get that idea out of your mind. Okay? Why people... we know why they're cheating on their families and their loved ones. We talked about that. And I just don't buy these excuses. I don't think there's an excuse in the world except you're a selfish kind of narcissistic person and very immature in your thinking. You need to grow up and stop. But what about the victims? What happens to them? Their initial reaction. Let me talk about some of those things and what we can do about that if you're a victim of such a thing. You're probably first response. Excuse me while I shuffle around my notes here. Sometimes I can go off the cuff, but I don't like to miss anything. Let me get this out of here. Excuse me a minute. Back in business. Okay. How do you feel when you're a victim of this? What's one of the things that comes to mind? Of course, you're hurt and you're angry. But, you're feeling sad and you're feeling empty. This feeling of true emptiness occurs. And it's a natural response to losing all the affections that you've invested in this person and someone you love. But, emptiness is different because it's the absence of an emotion. You kind of just don't know what to feel. You can't believe it. You're dumbfounded. You're shell-shocked. And, a lot of things go through the mind of the cheated on when they find out that initial information gets leaked to them, or they find out on their own. So you're just a big wreck. Your whole life is you're looking at it in front of you, and you just don't know what's true and not true anymore, and who to believe and not to believe. It's actually a feeling. Emptiness is actually a psychological mechanism, and it kicks in during any period of shock to feel that empty feeling. In some ways, it protects the mind in a way, so it can just get its reboot going and restart and try to start thinking logically again. Given time and resolution of the trauma, it usually will dissipate. But like I said, it can take a very long time. Then, another reaction might be possessiveness. After you find out about your cheating loved one, You might start to feel possessive. Now, that's a little odd, isn't it? You probably want to boot them out the door. But you've told yourself that your partner ever cheated on you. Maybe you've said, that's it. I will not tolerate that. But when the real deal happens, sometimes there's a big change of mind. And, you don't dump them in that heartbeat. Many people share that feeling. So why, you feel that you have, your partner has strayed and you're thinking about wanting him or you want them back. What do I need to do? And you try to do everything you possibly can to win back their affections. Look, don't waste your time. I'm telling you right now, from what I've seen, that person's not worth it, first of all, and you need to start healing because, I don't think it will work. There was something going wrong before this happened with that person or with the relationship that you trusted, and chances are it's going to come back again. And you can knock yourself out, but that's not going to get you where you need to be. Okay, so let's get to the real feelings of annoyance, okay? Annoyance, of course you're annoyed, you're angry, strong emotion that a betrayed partner might have to confront, but there's also a more pervasive sense of irritation with what your partner has done. What they've done, it's personal. You think, you maybe want to think about, can they be that stupid? You want my answer? I think you probably know it. They can be that stupid. It's absolutely beyond stupid. So annoyance is actually a good thing, because from anger we can see change. That's where we need to be. In any loss in life, could be a death. Oh, that's extreme as I explain it. But if we lose someone in our life or someone does us wrong, we usually go through these stages, and I've talked about these to clients. From sad, sad being the hardest hurdle to get over, to mad, which is the change agent emotion. So you go from sad to mad, and sometimes we vacillate between sad and mad until we get completely into mad, and mad will lead us to glad. So it's from sad to mad to glad. And keep this in mind if you've been cheated on. And you got to work on that anger and then flushing the situation and memory out of your mind as best you can. Because you'll eventually come to relief, which is my other note. I call it glad. But there will be relief that this creep is gone. Give yourself permission to feel, folks. That's okay. After the affair is relieved, you need time. And don't fight the emotions that you experience. Believe me, this is not the best of the treatment approach. You want to try to identify them, try to understand them, and respect that they're normal. You've been victimized, and anything you feel is normal. Okay? So don't fight those feelings. Make room in your mind for your feelings. Sometimes people are so busy with day-to-day activities, they really don't have a chance to reflect on what they're feeling, what their mind and emotions are telling them. I strongly encourage you to have time for that. Make time for that. I know we're busy, but listen, this is your life, and you need to have those times for you, and where you get to feel what you're feeling. If you need to cry, you cry. If you need to talk to someone, you talk to someone. If you need to pound your pillow, pound your pillow. But allow them to be and make room for them. Don't dwell. Dwelling is a bad place to be. When we dwell, we drown. You can't tread water forever. Okay? If you continue to get stuck, something like journaling can help. Seeing a therapist can help. Talking to a friend can help. Remember, our friends don't want to hear this over and over and over and over again, nor do our families, so don't be insulted if they become less helpful over time. That probably means if you need to talk and you're repeating yourself, then you're stuck. You're still stuck. And I would suggest seeing a therapist to help you get unstuck, because that's when people go to therapy, when they're stuck in something. So if that happens, you're dwelling. Get yourself some help. Journaling can be a good way to get it out too. Okay, and eventually, if you can, there should be a time where you can talk to your ex-spouse about the situation and vent how you feel, even if it doesn't get heard, because you have that right, and he owes you or she owes you that time in court to express what that person has put you through and why it happened. But be careful. Don't be sucked back into something that you're not comfortable with, or you're just looking for quick fixes. Or and another thing is too, folks, remember the bad times. When a relationship ends, you can't keep focusing on all the good stuff, because within good stuff, I guarantee you, with a cheater, there's got to have been bad stuff going on too. So you want to kind of try to remember those situations if something like cheating happens, and not focus on, the wonderful vacations and how it was in the beginning. Oh yeah, it's always wonderful in the beginning, isn't it? But there are bad times too, and those are the ones that can help you remember, was this all it was cracked up to be? Because none of this is ever your fault. I don't care if you're not giving your spouse sex or not. It's their responsibility to come to you to talk about it. Okay? And if it's not your responsibility, if you're going on about your life thinking everything's hunky-dory and fine in the relationship, and you have no clue, this is like hitting you like a ton of bricks. And it puts you into that state of shock. So, and keep that in mind. I don't know how people do this. Honestly, I don't. I don't know how you can go home at night and, look your partner, your spouse, in the eye and say, hi, how was your day? When you were just, in some sleazebag motel or in the back of your car somewhere with another person. It takes a very, I don't know, I'd say it's a defective personality at the very least. And I had this discussion with one of my colleagues at one time. It should be considered some type of a personality disorder. I guess the closest thing it comes to is narcissism, where that self-gratification is most important and more important than anyone else. And real relationships and true love and empathy cannot be felt by these people. So, my cousin going down the street. These people are defective in their personality and the character anyway. So my guess is you'll see it coming long before it comes. And I wish you well. I hope you have healed or are healing. And I also hope this never happens to you. So if you're thinking of cheating, stop now, avoid it, and talk to your loved one about it before you do something you're going to regret. Okay? That's my message for this 4th of July, 2016. And my name is Leo Battenhausen. This is Mender Online. We are the Solution Revolution. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel here, right at the bottom of the screen. Just click that little subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. You'll be notified of future topics. I love to hear from people. I'd like to know if you'd like any psychological topics discussed. A la me, I'd be happy to comply. And I want to remind everybody to check out my segment on Relevant Radio. That's Relevant Radio morning air show. And I am on this Thursday, July 7th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can go online to relevantradio.com, relevantradio.com, and click Listen Live, and you can hear everything on your computer. Relevant Radio also has an app. You can hear everything live there. And some areas have local terrestrial stations. Here in New York, New Jersey area, it's 14:30 a.m. So you can listen there as well. And that's this Thursday, the 7th, July 7th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our topic will be the chameleon syndrome. And I will also be addressing the chameleon syndrome here on Mender Online next time. Okay, so thanks for listening. Stay away from those cheaters. Don't let society and the social media and the media themselves drag you into mindsets that you don't belong. Have a great 4th of July and a wonderful week, folks. Thanks for listening. I'm Leo Battenhausen. See you next time.